based on the structure, sentences can be of different types. They can be simple sentences or compound sentences or complex sentences. We can join two or more simple sentences to form a complete new sentence. Now, this new sentence can be either a simple sentence or a complex sentence or a compound sentence. This process of joining two or more simple sentences to form a completely new sentence is known as the synthesis of sentences. Today, we will learn how we can join simple sentences to form complex sentences. Let us quickly revise the features of a simple sentence and a complex sentence. We have learned that a simple sentence has one main clause and it has no subordinate clause, and it has one finite verb, whereas a complex sentence has one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. Now, these subordinate clauses can be noun clauses or adjective clauses or adverb clauses depending on their function in the sentence. A complex sentence has two or more finite verbs. The clauses are joined by subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns or relative adverbs or question words. Let us see how we can synthesize two simple sentences to form a new complex sentence. So, when we are joining two simple sentences to form a complex sentence, we are essentially joining a main clause with a finite verb with another main clause having a finite verb to form a complex sentence having one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses with more than one finite verbs. Now, these clauses are joined by either subordinating conjunctions or relative pronoun or relative adverb or question words. Now, in order to do so, we have to convert all the independent clauses except one to dependent clauses or subordinate clauses, and these clauses will be noun clauses or adjective clauses or adverb clauses depending on their function. So, what are we doing? We are keeping one main clause as it is, and the other main clause will be changed to a subordinate clause with the help of a subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun or relative adverb or question word. So, essentially, we will be having one main clause and a main clause which has been changed to a subordinate clause with the help of these things. So, let us see with examples how we will join simple sentences and form a complex sentence. James had a friend. The friend brought candy for him every day. So, here we have two main clauses with two finite verbs. What are the finite verbs? Had and brought. Now, the second main clause is giving us information about the friend. Now, this same friend is mentioned in the first independent or main clause. So, how will we join the two clauses? So, we will join them and write as James had a friend who brought candy for him every day. So, what are we doing here? Now, in this sentence, we have kept the first independent clause as it is. We have retained the main clause, James had a friend. And the second independent clause has been changed to a subordinate clause with the help of the relative pronoun who. So, this independent clause becomes who brought candy for him every day. Now, this is a subordinate clause which is describing the friend. So, this clause is an adjective clause here. Now, let us see the finite verbs in this sentence. This sentence has a finite verb had and another finite verb, brought. So this sentence of ours is a complex sentence which is having one independent clause, James had a friend, and one subordinate clause, who brought candy for him every day, which is an adjective clause. I found a wooden box buried in my garden. It was full of gold coins. Now, how will we join the two independent clauses or main clauses and form a complex sentence? We can join them and write as, I found a wooden box which was full of gold coins buried in my garden. So, here we have used the relative pronoun which to join both the clauses. Now, here in this sentence, the part I found a wooden box buried in my garden is the independent or main clause, and the part which was full of gold coins is the subordinate clause here, and both these clauses have been joined by the relative pronoun which. Now, here in the second clause, the it refers to the wooden box mentioned in the first clause. So, we have used the relative pronoun which to join both these clauses. Now, we know that in such case, you can also use that to join both the clauses. So, we can also write, I found a wooden box that was full of gold coins buried in my garden. So, here we have used the relative pronoun that in place of the relative pronoun which. Now, if you say that I can join both these clauses and write a complex sentence, I found a wooden box buried in my garden which or that was full of gold coins, will it be correct? No. If you write this sentence, it will not be a correct sentence, because when you say which or that was full of gold coins after garden, then this part refers to the garden. So, here the meaning of the sentence changes and does not remain the same. So, this sentence is not a correct sentence. Dad may have landed, Mom does not know. Now, what does Mom not know? Mom does not know what? Mom does not know whether Dad has landed. So, here we have used the conjunction whether and we have changed the first clause, Dad may have landed, to a subordinate clause, whether Dad has landed. Now, this subordinate clause answers the question, what? So, this is doing the job of a noun. So, this is a noun clause here. Mom does not know whether Dad has landed. Now, you can also join these sentences and write a new complex sentence as, Mom does not know if Dad has landed. So, we have used the conjunction if in this case. The smugglers fled somewhere. The police could not follow them. So, where did the smugglers flee? To a place where the police could not follow them. So, how will we join both these simple sentences? So, you can join both these sentences and write, the smugglers fled where the police could not follow them. So, where the police could not follow them becomes a subordinate clause which does the work of an adverb, because it is describing the place where the smugglers fled. Here, we have used the relative adverb where to join both the clauses. So, this part, the smugglers fled, is the independent clause, and where the police could not follow becomes the subordinate clause here. He began late, he finished early. Now, both these clauses give us contrasting ideas. So, how will we join the two sentences to form a complex sentence? Now, you can say that I can join the two sentences and write, he began late but he finished early, because both these sentences or clauses give us contrasting ideas. But remember that we have to make a complex sentence, and complex sentences use subordinating conjunctions. But if we use the conjunction but, this is a coordinating conjunction, and so this sentence becomes a compound sentence, not a complex sentence. So even though the synthesis is correct, but in this case we cannot say it is correct because we have to form a complex sentence. So this is not the correct answer. So because these two clauses give us contrasting ideas, how will we join them to form a complex sentence? We will use the conjunction though. This is a subordinating conjunction and our sentence will become, he finished early though he began late. So this sentence is now a complex sentence. If you have been given instructions to join sentences like this without the help of using and, but or so, then how will you do it? You will use though to join both these sentences. You can also use although to join both the sentences. You can say, although he began late, he finished early. You can also say, he finished early, although he began late. So you can join both these sentences in several ways. Hari is strong, Govind is equally strong. Now both the main clauses here are showing us some comparison. Hari is strong, Govind is equally strong. So how will we join both these main clauses to form a complex sentence? We can join them as Govind is as strong as Hari. She finished her homework, she went to bed. Now both the clauses here are showing us a sequence of action. She finished her homework, she went to bed. So how will we join the two clauses to form a complex sentence? We can say, after she finished her homework, she went to bed, or we can say, she went to bed after she finished her homework. The use of conjunction after is making it very clear as to the sequence of the actions. You can also write, she finished her homework before she went to bed, or before she went to bed, she finished her homework. So the conjunctions after and before make it very clear as to the sequence of actions that are taking place. Now that you have seen how we can join simple sentences to form a complex sentence, let us try to do this exercise. Join the following simple sentences into a complex sentence. He said something, I did not hear it. So how will we form a complex sentence by joining these two sentences? We will use the relative pronoun that and join them as, he said something that I did not hear. So this part, that I did not hear, becomes the subordinate clause. Now you can also join the two sentences and write, I did not hear what he said. So in this case, what he said becomes the subordinate clause, and in this case, what he said is the noun clause. I did not hear what? I did not hear what he said. Whereas in the first case, he said something that I did not hear. That I did not hear is an adjective clause because it is describing something. So in the first sentence, he said something is our main clause, whereas in the second sentence, I did not hear is our main clause. So what do we see? We see that when we join the two sentences, we can choose which clause we want to make as our main clause. So what do we see here? We see that depending on the meaning and the context of the clauses, we can choose to make any of our clauses as our main clause. Now here we have been given three simple sentences or three main clauses which we have to join to form a complex sentence. She jumped into the pool. It was not crowded. She felt relaxed. So how will we join all the three clauses to form a complex sentence? We can say, she felt relaxed as she jumped into the pool, which was not crowded. So what have we done here? We have joined the two clauses. She felt relaxed. She jumped into the pool with the subordinating conjunction as, and we have used the relative pronoun which to join the third sentence, it was not crowded. Now here we have used the conjunction as because we are referring to a particular time. She felt relaxed as she jumped into the pool. We are referring to the time that she jumped into the pool, and we have used the relative pronoun which because it is describing the pool. Now you can also join the three clauses as, she felt relaxed after she jumped into the pool, which was not crowded. Here we have used the conjunction after to make it clear as to the sequence of events that was happening. She felt relaxed after she jumped into the pool, and then the relative pronoun which, because we are describing the pool which was not crowded. You can also write, jumping into the pool which was not crowded, she felt relaxed. So what have we done here? We have changed the finite verb jumped to its participle form, jumping, and jumping into the pool becomes a phrase. She jumped into the pool has been changed into a phrase, jumping into the pool. We have then used the relative pronoun which because it is describing the pool, and our sentence becomes, jumping into the pool which was not crowded, she felt relaxed. So what is our main clause in this complex sentence? Our main clause is, jumping into the pool, she felt relaxed, whereas which was not crowded becomes a subordinate clause here. Let us do this exercise. Join the following simple sentences into a complex sentence. Ashok is a budding writer. He has written a gripping story. It is based on real life experiences. So how will we join the three clauses to make a complex sentence? We will join them as, Ashok is a budding writer who has written a gripping story which is based on real life experiences. So here we have used the relative pronouns who and which. Let us try to understand why. Now let us read the first two clauses. Ashok is a budding writer. He has written a gripping story. Now he refers to Ashok, who is a budding writer. So we have joined both these clauses with the relative pronoun who because we are referring to a human being. So Ashok is a budding writer who has written a gripping story. Now let us see the final clause here. It is based on real life experiences. Now it is referring to the story. So it is actually describing the story. So we have used the relative pronoun which to join this clause with the other two clauses. So we have Ashok is a budding writer who has written a gripping story which is based on real life experiences. So this complex sentence has the part Ashok is a budding writer as the main clause. Who has written a gripping story is one subordinate clause, and we have another subordinate clause which is based on real life experiences. Now both the subordinate clauses are adjective clauses here. The first subordinate clause, who has written a gripping story, is describing the writer. Here Ashok and writer are referring to the same person. And the second subordinate clause, which is based on real life experiences, is describing the story. So this is also an adjective clause. So what did we learn today? We have learned that we can join two or more simple sentences to form a completely new sentence. Now this new sentence can either be a simple sentence or a complex sentence or a compound sentence. This is known as synthesis of sentences. Synthesis of simple sentences into a complex sentence can be done by converting all the clauses barring one into dependent or subordinate clauses by using subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns or relative adverbs or question words. One clause has to be retained as an independent or main clause. Why is it so? Because we know that a complex sentence is made up of one independent or main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. So when you are given simple sentences to be joined to form a complex sentence, read the clauses very carefully, identify the purpose of each clause so that you know what you have to use to join them and which clause can be changed into a subordinate clause. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You can also win amazing prizes like PlayStation, iPad, watches and many more along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So learning at DeltaStep is not just fun and easy, it is also rewarding. So register for free now.